Unfortunately, life as Leo knew it had been completely turned on its head.
Well, it is difficult at times. Things start to change around you, and you try and maintain to be the same person that you were, but obviously you need to adapt to the situation as well. So you almost develop different personalities in a sense, which is something that I'm working on. This is all definitely new to me. I just, for the most part, all I care about is growing and learning more and doing good films, career-wise. So whatever can maintain that is most important.
DiCaprio followed Titanic with another lead role in the historical adventure The Man in the Iron Mask. Starring alongside experienced Hollywood actors Jeremy Irons and John Malkovich, Leonardo took on the part of not one, but two characters.
That was one of the most fascinating parts about the movie for me. Simply about two twins that are pretty much identical being put into two different environments. That's how they come about as human beings, with their internal willpower and who they really are. Sort of rise above their environment and what they've been living with. For example, the king being told his whole life he's the closest thing to God, and Philippe being trapped in a mask. What kind of men do they become when they're put out of those situations?
In 2000, Leo starred in The Beach by Slumdog Millionaire director Danny Boyle. The movie enjoyed its premiere at the Berlin Film Festival, where DiCaprio's appearance proved a big hit with the ladies. But according to Leo, popularity can have its drawbacks, and it isn't always easy to keep fans at a safe distance.
You adapt, you carry on, and you get to a place where you just have a certain amount of acceptance towards it, and you realize that it is true. Once you establish with yourself that it is out of your control, and you really have no control in the situation, and you're really pretty much, result of what anyone at any time could say anything they want, and it could mutate into, if it's an out-and-out lie, it could, eventually be thought of as the truth, and you can't do anything about that. And you just have to sort of realize that along with that, con becomes, there is the fantastic thing, which is the opportunity to be a performer and let that speak for who you are, as opposed to anything else.
The 2002 film Gangs of New York saw Leo star alongside Daniel Day-Lewis and Cameron Diaz, marking the first time he worked under legendary director Martin Scorsese. Martin had been trying to make the movie for years, but the project's enormous budget resulted in movie studios constantly rejecting it. Finally, Gangs of New York got the green light, and DiCaprio saw a lifelong dream come true.
I said to them, look, get me this project. Let's do this. I want to do this with Marty. And they started talking with Marty, and they asked Marty what he wanted to do. He coincidentally said that he'd been wanting to do that for a while. And then I was doing The Beach in Thailand, and I got a phone call saying that he wanted to do Gangs of New York with me, and I was in shock.
Also in 2002, another Golden Globe nomination for his role in Steven Spielberg's Catch Me If You Can. Leo was naturally delighted to be working with another movie icon, Tom Hanks, and the feeling was definitely mutual.
How can you not know that Leo was the guy in What's Eating Gilbert Grape and Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet? I didn't know Leo, but I always viewed him as the finest actor of his generation, a guy who had already made incredibly bold choices in what the type of work that he wanted to do. And listen, I'll try to hang on to Leo's coattails, provided he wears a coat.
In 2006, there was a further Academy Award nomination for Leo with Blood Diamond. Casting a critical eye on the diamond trade in Africa and its resulting bloodshed, working on the movie proved to be an emotional experience for DiCaprio.
I didn't quite know how it has dramatically affected people, and to what degree in Africa. So now that I'm more conscious of it, it's something that I have certainly a different attitude about, and it's a very complicated issue though, because I don't think that anyone's saying don't buy diamonds at all. I think that's the wrong message. It's about specifically saying, if there is any percentage of conflict diamonds still out there, anything that's still contributing to situations like this, they have to be stopped.
DiCaprio also starred in The Departed that year, a Martin Scorsese crime thriller. Over the years, Martin and Leo have become quite a team, and the young actor still rates him as among the very best.
his authenticity is just amazing, and his attitude towards filmmaking still at this age and this stage in his career is amazing. He's a film fanatic, and he loves making movies more than anyone I've ever seen in my life.
So it was no surprise when, in 2010, DiCaprio and Scorsese teamed up again for the psychological thriller Shutter Island.
It is like a film course, like an education every time you step on the Martin Scorsese set. We watch screenings of old films to get tones and themes and attitudes of the characters and looks of the film. And we have when we have that kind of stuff, something he refers back to throughout the course of the movie. Remember that scene? Remember the look of that? Remember the way he acted? This is the attitude that I want. This is the style that I want to bring into the films.
In 2010, he was recruited by Christopher Nolan for another edgy thriller, Inception. The genre clearly suits DiCaprio, but he's still open to anything that catches his eye.
And I like every type of film. It's just hard for me to do certain type of films. But I'm gonna try everything in my career, and I'm gonna do every type of genre. But I don't want to do a genre just for the sake of doing it, you know.
Leonardo DiCaprio's elusive Oscar might finally be within reach, as the now 36-year-old star has a string of exciting movies coming up. Leo hits the big screen next year in Clint Eastwood's J. Edgar, has hooked back up with Baz Luhrmann for The Great Gatsby, and is also set for a part in Quentin Tarantino's upcoming western, Django Unchained.